and that's probably what's made him call this.
It's a hell of a band-aid. We've still got a lot of poker to play. I'm sitting next to the 2005 World Series of Poker main event champion. I have to say that every time before I announce your name, Joe. Unfortunately, it's a hell of a title. So, you've played these stakes. Do you approach this field? I mean, the answer will be yes, but let's get more into it. Do you approach this field a lot differently to a main event, for example?
It's when you play in this field, you're playing with a known quantity. You know the players, you know their tendencies, you know they're not going to do anything ridiculous. So it's kind of like it helps you corral their activities. Whereas when you play in a large field event with a lot of unknowns, a lot of players who are amateur players, they could do anything. Like we saw Dwaglen do in the main event. You know, like this event, there's more pressure because the level of thinking is higher, but at the same time, how do I say? I don't want to use the word easier, but I want to say I want to use the word more predictable, perhaps. Like, I know that he's going to make a move that makes sense.
And they seem so relaxed too. Look at this. Well, we have Jason Moe raising with Queen Jack offsuit. Richard Jong calls and flops a full house, and it looks as though Jason's going to bet into him with what he thinks is a straight draw that might be live.
We haven't spoken about Jason. Jason's a young gun of an online player. He has built up a very impressive record online, and he's very feared.
Well, he bets 65,000 and gets a call from Richard Jong. And look at this, the turn, as though it was scripted, a 9 of spades. So that will cost Jason Moe, I'd imagine, quite a bit.
The poker gods are so cruel, aren't they?
They sure are. Well, the pot now almost 300,000. Jason Moe with 1.2 behind him. Turns a straight. Little does he know Richard Jong is sitting on a full house. And he's pretty much flopped him dead. There is no chance that Jason will win this hand. He has bet 145,000. Will Richard Jong elect to call? Or will he pull the trigger now? Richard Jong, the dealer, tells him there's 20 seconds left on the clock. Each player has 30 seconds.
Jason bets out 145,000.
Richard Jong making a big bet of over 350,000 now, trying to get the rest of Jason Moe's money, given that Jason has such a strong hand. Is this the time, Joe? Is this where he sticks it in? Would he be wrong to?
No, he wouldn't be wrong to. Look, you know, I've said it time and time again. It's hard enough to make a pair, let alone a straight, let alone a full house. So it's sometimes you just get cold decked. This is a cold deck.
Jason calls.
He's announced call, so we will see a river. And the river is an 8 of hearts and gives Richard Jong quads, and he announces all in. So,
unfortunately, Paul, though, that is the worst card in the deck for Richard, because now Jason beats nothing. Now it's an easy fold for him at this point. We've noticed the dealer in the background calling 20 seconds. This tournament is played, everyone only gets 30 seconds to act on their hand. And you see the blue buttons in front of every player? That's extended time. So you get like another minute, a minute and a half if you want to think about your hand. And the reason we've done this is so that people do not think for too long and waste time.
Is it possible that the lucky 8 on the river for Richard Jong giving him quads could be a saviour? And it is, Joe, you're right. It saved Jason Moe. He would likely have called had that river been anything else.
Yeah,
Richard Jong with
$24,000 pot. Ace deuce and Phil Ivey calling in the big blind.
3,000. Right now you're 200 calls.
3,200 the bet, and 3,200 called in 2 spots.
See, there's 3 ways.
It's just like playing online for these 3. They play an awful lot.
Check. Check.
Everybody with a whole bunch of nothing. Benjamin with the gut shot straight draw. Dwan.
And if he catches it, it'd probably be very good because he could catch Tom Dwan at the same time. He'd make a smaller straight.
Bet.
Mike, I know my initials are ATM.
8,600.
And a big bet.
ATM.
Phil Ivey's gone.
600 total bet.
O-V-O-R.
Call.
Sicko.
Pot is nearly $28,000.
Sickest. Sicko. Sorry.
And a 5 certainly would be the magic card.
17. Yeah. 17 chain.
Here comes the turn.
Oh, and there it is, the 5 of hearts. It's an unbelievable card there. Tom Dwan makes the wheel, ace to 5 straight. But David Benjamin with the absolute nuts right now. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 high straight. And you can see he cannot lose this pot. And it's just a matter of how can he maximize the value of this hand.
The speed that Tom Dwan's been playing, I can't see this pot going anything other than all in. Whether it happens now or on the river.
Well, Tom Dwan, an absolutely fantastic internet player, knows how to get away from second best hands. Can he do it here?
I very much doubt it.
Ever the skeptic.
21-3.
Betting 21,300.
And he bets 21,300. The pot is now $49,200. Action back to Benjamin.
I think the faster that David Benjamin plays this pot, the more money he's going to get.
Benjamin has over $400,000 behind. Dwan with nearly $200,000 behind. And this has the makings of an absolute monster. $50,000 pot, $23,000 to call. But between you and I don't think Benjamin's just going to call this one. Can Durr get away from this hand?
I really don't think so. Very hard to put your opponent on 6-7.
63 total bet.
And he makes it 63,000 total. 40,000 more. And this pot had up to $112,000. Action back to Durr. It's almost impossible to put Benjamin on the 6-7, the gut shot. Remember, there was a bet on the flop and Benjamin called. Absolute stone face from Benjamin. Action on. Tom Dwan.
The black one's in his hand worth $25,000 each.
That's all right. That's what you expect. If you let that get to you, you're making a mistake.
Absolutely insane amount of money here at this table.
Right. when you're like me and it's steaming and upset.
And what is the internet phenom going to do here? It's $40,000 back to him. As you've already said, it's almost impossible to see him getting away from this one. Remember, Benjamin has shown bluffs all day long. No reason to think he's not bluffing right here.
I'm all in.
And he's all in!
Cool.
Tom Dwan is all in. David Benjamin quickly is going to call this, and Tom Dwan is drawing dead.
You have 6-7? Nice hand.
There really is not a lot that poor Tom Dwan could have done there, and he looks absolutely sick.
Completely inconsequential river. Dwan was drawing dead. And look at those chips getting shifted over to the French.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.